those. We need your attention up here so that you know what you'll be doing this morning in your space stations. We will have 3 space stations. Miss Kohler, myself, and Miss Lightfoot will all be in charge of a station, and we're going to tell you what those 3 stations are and where we will be so that you'll know. Station 1?
Okay, Station 1, we're going to design a spacesuit for going to Mars, all right? And I'll be doing that up here. When you hear your name called, you come up here.
Space Station 2, we'll be talking about weight on Mars, and we'll be trying to walk on Mars. We have some cool shoes we're going to use to try and walk on Mars. And my group will be meeting right back there where all of you are sitting. I think the best thing about the enriched environment here is that the students are getting curriculum every single day. They're getting the reading, the writing, the math, all in one activity. So they're working in journals, but yet they're doing science to do the journals. They're doing math to come up with the answers. So they're highly involved, and half the time they don't know that they're learning. It's just happening. And for the teachers, it's wonderful to watch. Now, we're going to weigh it on Earth. I think we're going to do the garbage can first.
Isn't it like 6?
Let's put it on here. Oh, I think it's about 1. So if it's 1 pound on Earth, let's do some estimating. If we estimate, oh, is this estimating? Let's estimate first. What do you think it might weigh on Mars?
48 ounces.
Think it might weigh 48 ounces on Mars? You might. Okay, let's try it now on the calculator. We're going to calculate to find out how much it does weigh on Mars.
How long do you think until people will begin to live on Mars?
Well, actually, from what I've been reading, they're saying that by the year 2050, people should actually be living on Mars. And up until then, there will be a lot of experimentation until that time. And that's what we're going to do. We're simulating a small environment. And what we have to picture, we have to get a setting. We have to think about, now, we're the experimenters. We know that there are some problems. We'll talk about those problems after we get into the bubble and get our atmosphere. And then we have to decide what types of things do we need in order for us to really be able to live on Mars. Most definitely, our space camp experience works extremely well with children because it's a hands-on experience. And when children have hands-on experiences, they learn and retain the most information. The children, it's easy to maintain their interest, and that's one of the very appealing things. They don't look for outside recess even because they're just constantly moving and thinking. There's a lot of critical skills involved in their learning, and it's just a wonderful experience for them. It's good to see that you're all working so hard here and creating your models of things that we're going to need when we actually move on to Mars. I see lots of creative things here. Would any of you like to start sharing a little bit what you're creating? Ryan, what are you making? Plants. Yeah, we need lots of oxygen on our Earth, and trees. Trees are real good. And guys, what are you making over there? Laser.
Hands-on is great because sometimes it can look to people like the kids aren't learning, but they are. And, you know, it's just by hearing things and hearing me lecture, the kids aren't going to pick up on the ideas. But if they're actually doing it and seeing what's happening by doing it themselves, by creating it, that's when they're going to learn the most.
This is the kind of learning that kids engage in and do actually at home at play. It doesn't even feel like it's school learning. It feels like it's something much, much more natural. But let's look at the managerial and organizational aspects of this. This is not easy to do. It is not something that, notice that there are 3 teachers who have taken part in designing this. But also there's a great deal of forethought that had to go into what things to have available for the students. They had to have enough calculators for everyone to calculate their weight on Mars. They had to have the foam shoes. They had to have the scale to weigh things. There are a number of things that needed to be put in place to be used as tools in order to execute this unit. So all of that, again, you cycle back to pre-planning, making sure that everything's available, letting the students know what their particular roles, what their tasks will be, and then monitoring them as they go through those.